My name is Ray Tatter, and Black Lives Matters is an important slogan. It's so important that it is moving people to organize around ideas that flow from that. And with me today is two people who are a part of the founding of an organization called Black Women United. It's an organization that is reaching out to educate and protect Black women and help them advance in our community. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. Hi, I'm Ray Tatter, and with me in our electronic studio somewhere is Jan Bernard Williams and Cheyenne Cameron Pruitt. Hi, who are here to talk to me about their new organization and how it moves forward in terms of the advancement of Black women in our world. Is that right? Am I wrong?
You are right.
Okay, good.
Right on.
Good. Well, it's so important that we discuss with organizations founding like this and follow them as they go through the various trials of reaching out into the community. I was part of the anti-war movement, and I can remember going and making a speech and going around to various organizations, religious organizations, economic engines, and even into academia to talk about what it meant to fight against the Vietnam War. It's this kind of war we're in too. From that period on, there was the Black movement of issues dealing with Black life back then. Not too much has changed, but there were some changes, and we are happy for that. I guess change isn't going to happen overnight, but it's not going to happen unless we do something, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes.
So tell me, you were walking down the street and you said, I think I'm going to do this. This is what right to do. How did you make this decision?
Well, so that's actually a fantastic story that we love to tell. Black Women United, neither of us are the founders. It was founded by a group of very powerful and strong Black women in 2017. And the real catalyst for recognizing that there was a space and that there was a need for this kind of focus within this movement for Black women specifically actually happened who really, really drive social justice, and they drive these really huge change movements. But oftentimes then we get left out of the narrative. And that was what was happening at the Sacramento Women's March. So our group of founders decided, you know what, we're tired of not seeing ourselves. We're tired of not letting our voices being heard. We're tired of being silenced. So we're going to do something for us. And that's how it was founded. So in 2017, in June, I believe, they said, let's start this let's start Black Women United. Let's hold the first annual Black Women's March, and Black Women United just grew from there.
Wow.
And that's pretty extraordinary. They planned a march in 5 months, which,
yeah.
I mean, it was thousands of people came out during that time. So that's pretty awesome. That's some intense organizing and organization.
Absolutely. So shout out to our founders.
Yeah, shout out to our founders.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. This is actually our first march right there. We have a picture of them in our office.
Like pictures. Okay. Do you have protesters in your families?
Yeah. My dad was an activist growing up. He would talk about, my dad was a Korea Vietnam vet, and his activism took place in how he raised us and how he raised my sisters and I to be the best versions of ourselves. My mom, not as much. but she definitely instilled values in us to don't be the tail of anything. Always, be the head and embrace who you are.
This is good.
Yeah, and same for me. I mean, my mom, she's also a veteran. So I think my mom just has a beautiful heart of service, and she really instilled that into me. And I think the activist side just came with experience and life. And but really, I see my involvement with Black Women United as really a service to Black women, and honestly giving back to the Black women who instilled so much into me as I was growing up and who helped me to become the woman that I am. And I think Black Women United is just the perfect place for me to pour back into other Black women and young Black girls.
That's good. About our society now, misogynoir. It was the one word I had. I understand misogyny, and I understand noir. It's French for black, and so I get it. And I want to know where are we in the process of. I'm talking about our culture here, our California culture, and maybe Sacramento. Where are we in terms of relating to leadership within Black community, within the community at large, with Black women taking part in that leadership? How does it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, misogynoir, it's a huge problem for Black women, and I think that, everybody understands what misogynoir is. Misogynoir basically is misogyny directed towards Black women. So that means that it's based in not only, bias against the gender, but bias against race as well. So, like we've spoken about before, is there's this system that really, it oppresses Black women. It keeps Black women from receiving the same education. It keeps Black women from being at the tables where their voices should be heard, from having a seat on a board of directors or whatever. There's just that kind of that system in place, but then also this violence that happens towards Black women as well. And that's really what we're working to dismantle. And I think that, and Jan, of course, jump in wherever you want, but I think that is really kind of our mission. Is we're here as Black Women United to really address the places where we can make a difference when it comes to the societal systems and the societal standards that have been set for Black women that are holding Black women back, frankly.
And something that Black Women United does well, this is something that drew me to the organization, is something we do well is meaningful, unique experiences for Black women, which is one reason why our annual march is so important. And it's happening on June 26th of this year. It will be virtual, and it will be some in part. So if you're interested in participating, definitely go to our website, become a subscriber, and get all those details. It's our 5th year. So we're doing 5 days of celebration, which I'm personally really excited about. With Black Women United, we're really, something we do well is unique experiences and meaningful experiences for Black women, spaces and places and events and experiences that Black women feel that they can be their whole self in, that I don't have to pick between being a mom and being a Black woman, or I don't have to pick between being a Muslim and a Black woman. I don't have to pick between being a trans and a Black woman. Like, all of my whole self is respected in this space.
Wow. Right. So this march is going to be coming up on the March.
June 26th.
June 26th. Okay. You have a video of a past march. Can we look at it now?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, here we go. Good. I love it.
She believes, she builds, she blooms. That's the theme for this year. She believes, she builds, she blooms. And that's the story of so many Black women. We believe, and as a result of our belief, we take action. And as a result of our action, not just do we we are not the only ones that are recipients of our beliefs and our building, but all of our communities and our families are as well.
Well, okay, let's talk about the enemy. And where do you find people who are crypto racists? I mean, I'm sure they exist in religion, they exist in religious practices, they exist in economic engines, government offices. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And how does one organize to make change?
I see change as like a hand. Change is like a hand. I'm going to pick up my cup, right? I have my beautiful J cup. I love things with J on it because of my name. And to pick this cup up and to drink from it, it was a coordinated effort between the 5 fingers on my hand, my brain, my arm to do that. And then now to drink from this cup, it's an additional coordinated effort of my tongue, my teeth, my esophagus, and then my stomach to digest it. So when it comes to change and identifying the enemies, I think that we are in a particular place in society where we're able to identify our allies as well. And allies are in all shapes and forms and colors when it comes to change happening. So it's not just activists. I don't consider myself an activist. I consider myself a strategist. I can get something done by putting a strategy in place to empower people and to change a system and or to implement a new system where that change can happen.
Implementing a new system. So there are systems that within our communities, within our thought processes, I suppose I'm just making this up, thought processes that maintain misogynistic ideas.
Absolutely. Why are you the host of this show? Why isn't a younger person or a dark-skinned person or a person with a wrap on their head or a person with a hole in their ear or a hole in their nose the host of this live show? So yeah,
I couldn't try it, but I wanted to get one.
Oh, it's okay. I understand.
No, I really
so
did.
Within those, there's opportunities for people that may not look like, other people, for them to come forward and to step forward.
Okay, well, that's an interesting answer. So Cheyenne, do you feel that way too?
I mean, absolutely. I think so. Sorry, just going back to what you're asking about, the systems in place, and is it in our thought processes? Is it in, government? Is it in whatever it is? There's this system that it's ingrained in our society. It's ingrained in our beliefs, and then it gets passed down from generation to generation to generation, right? So it's there. And sometimes I think even when we want to trust and believe that we're making progress, the progress happens, but it's not, we're not seeing it yet. It's not moving fast enough. And I think so that's another part, but the system is there. And like you said, the thought process, I think that's something that I just want to focus on really quickly, a ton, is that the thought processes are there. It's we're stuck, way back there, and I think that sometimes we even forget that the Civil Rights Act and all of that kind of stuff that, people say really propelled, Black people forward, Black women forward, that didn't happen that long ago. And I think we forget that. So those thought processes, we're still working as a society and as a country and as a people to move away from that. And I think that is something that Black Women United, we're really hoping and helping and working towards, to kind of just speeding that process up, right? Because if we just wait for the progress to happen organically, we're never going to get anywhere. So our kids are still going to be dealing with the same things that we dealt with as young Black women. And that's really what we're working to not have happen, right? So yeah, I think it's just, it's ingrained in us, but we're working to change that.
And we understand that change doesn't, we understand that change doesn't happen overnight. we know that that's not realistic and that's not possible for change to happen overnight. You know, with the coordination of hands and your teeth and your tongue to take a sip of water, a baby is in the mother's womb for 40 weeks for all of those systems to learn to coordinate with each other for that to happen. So we don't expect there to be magic. And that's why this theme for this year's March is so important to us, because we recognize the past work of Black women believing in building, but we also recognize the current work of young women like myself and Cheyenne and Iris and Neffy, shout out to our team, that are currently still believing and still building for a better reality for our young Black girls.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I really liked Cheyenne's statement about, but if you let it happen by itself, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to do something, and I found that amazing and important, because that's what I think in terms of the idea of advancement happens. Nothing advances really in terms of social change unless there's some form of important movement that affects enough people. There they say, enough. Okay, we're voting for that person, or we're not voting for that person. You know, and I think it's fascinating. And the idea whole of being public action, being moved by taking the roadblocks out of the way and presenting a new dynamic, a new dynamic, like how many women show up for XX jobs, you know, jobs that are held by men, or how many women show up in government offices and in powerful political positions. And it's a fascinating thing to see change happen. We are seeing some change in our governments, and that's good. And I think it's important to understand part of I think is fear and culture. We don't understand cultural learning about cultures. I don't think that, you know, if we learn more about culture, certainly, and when I was growing up in school, there wasn't a class in cultural understanding.
Well, a class won't fix misogyny and racism.
Right.
A class won't fix that. It's a combination of hard work that you have to do, and I say also hand work, getting out of the safety of the four walls of your house and going into communities that don't look like you and doing some work. That's why one of our programs and services that we offer, Allies for Black Women, is so important to us, because here there are people who know that there is work to be done and they're dedicated to the process. Like without a process and without process in place, you don't have anything that is sustainable. So it's a combination. It's that process. It's that hard work. So a class won't necessarily fix, but curriculum and education definitely helps earlier in school, where kids are able to see more people that look like them. You know, there's a poll now where most high school seniors don't understand and know that the cause for the Civil War was the abolishment of slavery. So there's an opportunity there for something to be changed.
Absolutely.
Right. And I just wanted to jump in and say, Jan, number one, I 100% agree with you. It's like you said, it's not really a class, but there is education that can happen. And there's also this, like, you know, we know this, like, prejudice is taught. That's not something that you're born with. Like, that is something that is taught to you. And again, it goes back to those thought processes, you know, kind of being ingrained from generation to generation. I also think, Jan, I just wanted to highlight what you said and go back to that statement of, like, you know, we can't wait for this to happen organically. Like, we can't wait for change to happen organically, but we also can't do it by ourselves, right? So let's just face it, like, this is an organization by Black women for Black women, but there are places places and spaces that we're still not welcome into, right? So that is where our allies come in. That's where we really ask, because people are like, oh, well, that's exclusionary. You're not letting everybody like be a part of Black Women United, but we actually are. We want you to be a part of Black Women United. If you don't identify as a Black woman, that's fine. You can come and you can be an ally with us. And that's what we're really, really asking for folks. So I just wanted to really, once again, highlight that, like it, and this is just, not whether you're involved with Black Women United or some other organization, don't ever undercut the power that you have as an ally, because frankly, you have quite a bit of power, because you can be in spaces and places that the communities that you're working with just simply cannot be, because of those systems, going back to that are in place and have been in place for generations.
When I look, that's really great.
Yeah. It's the responsibility of the ally to defunk the system that they've helped to create and sustain for so many years. I worked with benefit from. Yeah, that they benefit from. So understanding that, okay, I recognize that I benefit from this particular system. So how can I go in this system and be a part of this system, knowing that I benefit from it, and change it so that people who don't look like me can benefit from it.
Absolutely.
I looked at when I went to look at your website. I noticed there was a kind of a little ribbon of names above that of people I know in the Sacramento community who are activists in other areas of human need. And I thought, and they were giving you the high five, and telling you, hey, go on with what you're doing. We need you in this community. And I find it fascinating and wonderful. And those were not all Black people. Those were black, white, red, yellow. And it's a fascinating thing. So this June, you're going to march, and that's one of your organizing places that people who are listening to us right now may organize around. So if our great technologist can put the information on the screen for this march that you're planning. Oh, there it is. There it is. For more information, and there's the website. Mm-hmm. And what does the BWUSAC stand for?
Black Women
United Sacramento. Yeah. Our goal is to be in every major city eventually across the world, to have chapters where Black women who may not be accepted in traditional Black organizations have a place to express themselves, and their whole self is celebrated and honored. So that's why we are BW Sacramento.
I think this, you're seeing a lot of organizations forming across the United States. If you Google again, and you write Black women's organizations across it, a lot of it has to do with medicine and health, psychological, physical health. But some of it actually has to do with organizing. And so you might start the links, going across. It may not end up being called Black Women United, but it'll be a United Black Women.
Well, Black Women United will always be Black Women United.
I mean, right? I know what you mean. But I mean,
I know.
Also, I just do want to throw out that we are definitely focused on community organizing, but Black women's health and wellness is a very high priority for us as well. I don't know if y'all saw the news, but I believe, and check me if I'm wrong, that the CDC even said that racism is a health issue that we're facing in this country. It's a health issue, and it's a stressor, and it causes mental illness, it causes bodily illness. So that's something that we are working towards because we're working towards changing that. We're working to provide resources for Black women, and we're working to help Black women understand that there is a lot of trauma and things that are expected of them and all of that, and that can affect their mental health and well-being just in general. So just wanted to throw that out there too. So we're very focused on health and wellness of Black women as well.
We want the whole Black woman to be okay and to be safe and to continue to advance.
Absolutely.
A big job cut out for you and the organization. But I think that many people will come to your side. And I hope that in this next March, your organization grows and becomes stronger. So I'm also interested in economic engines and how you get support. And is there some fundraising events that you do, or you?
Absolutely. So in order to sustain an organization like ours, we have a variety of funding. So personal donors that donate to us monthly. We also participate in grants. We also provide some fee for services. The March is actually a big fundraiser for us as well. In addition to fundraising events that we host that are they are fun, but in fundraising as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, and we can all learn more about that on your website, I expect.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can find it, on our website, and also find us on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are growing towards the end of our ability to talk anymore about this, but I find it a fascinating conversation I've had with you. And so this is your time. I'm going to turn my head out, and I'm going to let you say what you have to say. Is there anything that we've missed about your organization that I didn't ask about?
Well, I'll start, and then maybe Cheyenne, you can tie it with a bow.
Okay,
Black Women United, we have been around for 5 years, and we're going to continue to be around. We're going to continue to be the catalyst behind the annual Black Women's March, where we allow Black women to be empowered, inspired, and remind them the power of their believing, of their building, and the impact of their blooming. So please join us for that. Visit our website, find us on social media, and just know Black Women United, we're here to stay. We ain't going nowhere.
Good.
Absolutely. I don't even have to tie it with a bow, Jan. You gift wrapped it, tied it up, all of it. That was perfect.
Thank you both. Thank you for speaking to me on LiveWire. I think it's important, and I'd like you to know that you come on back when good things happen. Come on back when bad things happen, and we'll talk about them.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you for having
Ray,
us.
for having us.
My pleasure. Thank you for doing what you're doing. All right, that's it. We're going to have to go now, but we're here every week on Wednesday at 5 o'clock, live at 5. We'll see you now. Bye.